Tom, now you know how Laura is. She's so quiet, but still waters run deep. And she notices things, and I think she broods about them. Now, I came in here the other day, and she was crying.
What about?
You.
Me?
Now, she has this idea that you are not happy here.
Well, what gave her that idea?
What gives her any idea? But, honey, you have been acting kind of strangely. Tom, I am not criticizing about you. Now, I know that your ambitions do not lie at the warehouse, and like everybody else in the whole wide world, you too have had to make sacrifices. But, Tom, life is not easy. It calls for Spartan endurance. Tom, there are just so many things in my heart that I cannot describe to you. Now, I never told you, but I did love your father.
Oh, I know that, Mama.
But when I see you, and you were taken after his ways, and you were staying out all night, and you had been drinking the other night when you were in that terrifying condition. And now Laura tells me that you hate this apartment, and you go out nights to get away from it. Now, is that true?
No. Mother, you say there's so much in your heart that you can't describe to me. Well, that's true of me too, Mother. There's so much in my heart that I can't describe to you. So let's just respect each other's...
But, honey, why are you so restless? Where do you go to nights?
I go to the movies.
Why do you go to the movies so much?
I go to the movies because I like adventure, and adventure's something I don't get much of at work, so I go to the movies.
Honey, you go to the movies entirely too much.
I like a lot of adventure.
Well, most young men find adventure in their careers.
Most young men are not employed at warehouses.
The world is full of young men who are employed at warehouses and offices and factories.
And do all of them find adventure in their careers?
Well, they do, or they do without. Not everybody in the whole wide world has a craze for adventure.
Mother, man is by instinct a lover, a hunter, and a fighter, and none of those instincts get much play at a warehouse.
Man is by instinct?
Yes.
Don't you quote instinct to me. Now, instinct is something people have gotten away from. It belongs to animals. Christian adults don't want it.
Well, what do Christian adults want then, Mother?
Thinks of the mind and of the spirit. Only animals have to satisfy their instincts. Now, surely your aims are somewhat higher than theirs, than monkeys and pigs.
Well, I reckon they're not.
Oh, Tom, you must be joking. That's not what I wanted to talk to you
Mother,
about.
I haven't got time.
You've got 5 minutes.
You want me to punch in red at the warehouse?
Tom, I must talk to you about Laura.
All right. What about Laura?
We have got to be making some plans and provisions for her. Well, she's older than you. And Tom, nothing is happening for her. She just drifts along, doing nothing.
Well, I reckon she's the type that people call homegirls.
Honey, there's no such type. And if there is, it's a pity. Unless the home is hers, with a husband in it.
What?
Tom, I can see the handwriting on the wall as plain as I can see the nose on my face. More and more, you remind me of your father. Well, he was gone out all night long without any explanation, and then one day, he was just gone. Goodbye, and leaving me with the bag to hold. Now, I saw that letter you got from the Merchant Marines. Well, I saw it. And I know what you're dreaming of. I'm not standing here blindfolded. All right, do it. But not until you have somebody to take your place.
What do you mean?
I mean, when Laura has somebody to take care of her. when she's married with a home of her own, independent, then you can go wherever you like, on land, on sea, wherever the wind blows you. But until that time, you have got to take care of your sister. Now, Tom, I don't say me because I'm old and I don't matter, but I say your sister because she's young and she's dependent.
But, Mother, what can I do about it?
You can overcome selfishness. Tom, self, that is all you ever think about. Tom, now wait, Tom. No, Tom, wait. I didn't say what I was in mind to ask you.
I'm too late to.
Look here, put on your muffler. Put on your wool muffler. Tom. Now, down at the warehouse, aren't there some nice young men?
No.
Oh, there must be some. Just please find one who's clean living, who doesn't drink, and ask him out for sister.
What?
For sister, to me, to get acquainted.
Gosh.
Oh, will you? Will you, dear?
Yes.
Ella? Ella Cartwright? Oh, well, this is Amanda Wingfield. Well, now first, Ella, how is your kidney problem? It's come back? Oh, Ella, you are a Christian martyr. No, that is what you are. You are a Christian martyr. Well, now, Ella, I have been looking through my little red book here, and I see where your subscription to the Companion has run out. And it's just when that wonderful new serial by Bessie Mae Harper starting. It's the one that's all about the horsey set on Long Island. And you have? You've already read it? Well, how do you think it turns out? Well, no, Bessie Mae Harper never let you down. Well, Ella, you have to have complications. You can't have a story without complications. But Bessie Mae Harper always leaves you with such an uplift. Ella, what's the matter? Well, you sound so mad. Oh, you mean because it's only 7 o'clock in the morning? Oh, Ella, I'm sorry. I forgot you never got up before 9. Well, I forgot anybody in the whole wide world was allowed to sleep as late as that. Well, I can't say anything, but I'm sorry, can I? You will? You will take that subscription from me anyhow? Well, bless you. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you, bless you.
Across the alley from us was the Paradise Dance Hall. On evenings in spring, the windows and doors would be open and the music would come outside. Sometimes they would turn out all the lights except for a large glass sphere which hung from the ceiling. And it would turn slowly about and filter the dusk with delicate rainbow colors. Then the orchestra would strike up a waltz or a tango, something that had a slow and sensuous rhythm. Couples would come outside to the relative privacy of the alley. You could see them kissing behind ash pits and telephone poles. This was compensation for lives that passed like mine without any change or adventure. Adventure and change were imminent, and this year they were waiting around the corner for all these kids. Suspended in the mist of a Berchtesgaden, caught in the folds of Chamberlain's umbrella. In Spain, there was civil war. Here, there was only hot swing music and liquor, dance halls, bars, and movies, and sex, which hung in the gloom like a chandelier and flooded the world with brief, deceptive rainbows. All the world was waiting for bombardments.
Where are you?
I came out to smoke, Mama.
Oh, smoke too much. Pack a day at 15 cents a pack? Now, how much would that be in a month? 15 times 30. Well, wouldn't be too much, but would be enough to go towards a night school course and a captain at the Washington U. Now, wouldn't that be lovely?
I'd rather smoke.
No, that's the tragedy of you. This Farscape landing is a poor excuse for that poetry we used to have. What you looking at?
Moon.
See the moon this evening? Oh, so there is. Just a little silver slip of a moon. Well, did you make a wish on it?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you wish for?
That's a secret.
All right, I won't tell you what I wished for. I can be just as mysterious as you can.
But I can guess what you wish.
Why? Now, is my head transparent?
You're not a sphinx.
No, I don't keep secrets. I'll tell you what I wished for. I wished for success and happiness for my precious children. That's what I wish for every time there's a moon, and when there isn't a moon, I wish for it too.
I thought perhaps you wished for a gentleman calling.
No, what makes you say that?
Oh, you don't remember asking me to fetch one?
I remember suggesting that it would be nice for your sister if you brought home some nice young man. I think I made that suggestion more than once.
Yes, you made it repeatedly.
Well?
We are going to have one.
What?
A gentleman calling.
Do you mean that you have asked some nice young man to come over?
Yep. I have asked him to dinner.
You really did?
I did.
Did he accept?
He did.
He did?
He did.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Yes. I thought that you would be pleased.
Well, now, this is definite.
Pretty definite.
Well, how soon?
Pretty soon.
Well, how soon?
Quite soon.
How soon?
Very soon.
Oh, Tom, every time I want to know something, you go on like that.
Mother, what do you want to know?
Well, guess. Just go on and guess.
You want to know when the gentleman caller's coming to dinner? He's coming tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes.
No, I can't do anything about tomorrow. I can't do anything about tomorrow.
Why not?
Don't give me any time.
Time for what?
Preparations. You should have called me the minute you invited him, the minute he accepted.
Mother, you don't have to make any fuss.
Well, of course I have to make a fuss. I can't have a man coming into a place that's all sloppy. It has to be thrown together properly. I have to do some fast thinking by tomorrow night, too.
Mother, I don't see why you have to think at all.
That's because you just don't know. You just don't know, that's all. I cannot have a gentleman caller coming into a pigsty. Oh, now let me see. Oh, I wonder how that old lace tablecloth is holding up after all these years. Oh! Tom, we can't weigh anything. We haven't got it. We haven't got anything to weigh. We haven't got it.
Mother, this is no boy to make a fuss over.
I don't know how you could say that when this is the first gentleman caller your little sister has ever had. Now, come on inside.
What for?
Because I want to ask you a few things.
Mother, if you are going to make a fuss, I will call the whole thing off. Mother, I will tell him not to come.
You can't do that. People hate broken engagements, then they got no place to go. Now come on inside. Now sit down.
Any particular place that you'd like me to sit?
Sit anywhere. Oh. Now look at that. Isn't that the saddest thing you've ever seen in your life? What am I going to do about that? Oh, I know. I can get a bright piece of creton. Now, that won't cost too much. And I made a down payment on the floor lamp, so I'll have that sent out. And I can put a bright cover on that Shay, I mean, oh, I wish I had time to paper the walls. Now, what is his name?
His name is O'Connor.
O'Connor? He's Irish? Oh, tomorrow's Friday. That means fish. Oh, that's all right. I'll make that salmon loaf with the mayonnaise dressing. Now, where did you meet him?
At the warehouse, of course. Where else would I meet him?
I don't know. Does he drink?
Why do you ask me that?
Because your father did.
Mother, don't get started on that.
He drinks things.
Not that I know of.
Well, you have got to find out. The one thing I do not want for my daughter is a man who drinks.
You're not being the tiniest bit premature. Mr. O'Connor has not yet arrived on the scene.
He will tomorrow night to meet your sister. And what do I know about his character?
What are you doing?
With that cowlick, I wish you would stay back by yourself. Oh, Tom, will you...
Mother, lots of boys meet girls whom they don't marry.
You know, you have always had me puzzled because you could not stick on one subject. Now, what I want to know is, what is his position down at the warehouse?
His position is that of a shipping clerk.
Shipping clerk? Well, that sounds pretty important to me. Well, that's where you'd be if you had any get up. Now, how much does he earn?
I would judge his salary to be approximately $85 per month.
$85 a month? Well, that's not princely.
20 more than I make.
Woohoo, how well I know that. $85 a month. Family man can't get by on $85 a month.
Mr. O'Connor is not a family man.
Well, he might be one day, mightn't he?
I see. Plans and provisions.
You know, Tom, you are the only young man I know that ignores the fact that the future becomes the present the past, and the past turns into everlasting regret unless you plan for it.
I'll think that over and see what I can make of it.
Don't be super serious with your mother. Now tell me some more about Mr. O'Connor. Now, Mr. O'Connor, we've got to have another name besides Mr.
James D. O'Connor. The D is for Delaney.
Delaney? He's Irish on both sides and he doesn't drink?
Shall I call him up and ask him?
Oh, Tom!
No, I'll call him up and ask him.
Hey, do that. You've got to be discreet about that subject. Why, when I was a girl in Blue Mountain and it was suspected that a young man was drinking and some girl was receiving his attentions, then if some girl was receiving his attention, she would go to the minister of his church and ask about his or her father. If her father were living, it was his duty to go to the minister of his church and ask about his character. Now, that is how young girls from Blue Mountain were kept from making tragic mistakes.
Then how did it happen that you made such a tragic mistake, Mother?
That face fooled everybody. All he had to do was grin. The world was bewitched. I think there's nothing more tragic than a young girl just putting herself at the mercy of a handsome appearance. And I hope that Mr. O'Connor is not too good looking.
As a matter of fact, he isn't. He has rather a large nose, which he compensates for by not having much of a chin.
He's not right down homely, is he?
Not right down homely. Medium homely, I'd say.
Well, if a girl had any sense, she would look for character in a man anyway.
That's what I've always said.
You've always said that. You have always said that?
Yes.
Well, now, how could you always say that if you never even thought about it?
Mother, don't be so suspicious of me.
I am. I am suspicious of every word that comes out of your mouth when you're talking to me. Now, tell me some more about this young man. Now, is he up and coming?
Yes. I think he really goes in for self-improvement.
And what makes you say that?
He goes to night school.
Night school? What does he do at night school?
He studies radio engineering and public speaking.
Public speaking. Now that shows he intends to be an executive. And radio engineering, well, that's coming,
I'm afraid it's here.
Those are very illuminating facts. Facts that any mother should know about any young man who's coming to call on her daughter. Serious or not?
One little warning, Mother. I didn't tell him about Lara. I didn't let on that we had dark, ulterior motives. I simply said, why don't you come over for dinner? He said, okay. And that was the whole conversation.
I bet it was, too. Sometimes you can be eloquent as an oyster. However, when he sees how sweet and how pretty that child is, he's going to be so glad he was invited over here to have some dinner.
Mother, you won't expect too much of Lara, will you?
I don't know what you mean.
Mother, Lara seems all those things to us because she's ours and we love her. We don't even notice she's crippled anymore. Mother, Lara is crippled. She is. Face facts, and that's not all.
What do you mean that's not all?
Lara is very different from other girls.
Well, I know that, and I think the difference is all in her favor, too.
No, not quite all. Mother, in the eyes of others, strangers, she is terribly shy, and she lives in a world of her own. And that can make her seem peculiar to other people. She is
peculiar? Well, I don't know in what way she's peculiar.
Mother, she lives in a world of little glass ornaments. She sits and plays those old phonograph records. That's about all.
Where are you going?
I'm going to the movies.
Laura? Laura?
Yes, Mother?
Honey, leave that ironing and come on out here. Come on. Honey, come on out and make a wish on the moon. Moon? See, just a little silver slip of the moon. Now, honey, here, look over your left shoulder and make a wish. Now, honey, wish.
What shall I wish for, Mother?
Happiness. Just a little bit of good fortune.
The following evening, I brought Jim home to dinner. I had known Jim slightly in high school, and Jim was the only person at the warehouse with whom I was on friendly terms. I was valuable to him as someone who could remember his former glory, who had seen him win basketball games and the Silver Cup in debating. He knew of my secret practice of retiring to a cabinet of the washroom to work on poems when business was slack at the warehouse. He called me Shakespeare. And while the other boys in the warehouse regarded me with a suspicious hostility, Jim took a humorous attitude towards me. Gradually, his attitude affected the others, and their hostility wore off, and they also began to smile at me, as people smile at an oddly fashioned dog who trots across their path at some distance. I knew that Jim and Lara had known each other in high school, and I had heard Lara speak admiringly of Jim's voice. I didn't know whether Jim remembered her or not, for in high school, Lara had been as unobtrusive as Jim had been astonishing. If he did remember her at all, it was not as my sister, for when I asked him to dinner, he grinned and said, "You know, Shakespeare, I never thought of you as having folks." He was about to discover that I did.
Hold still. Honey, why are you trembling so?
Mother, you've made me so nervous.
Well, now, how have I made you nervous?
By all this fuss, you make it seem so important.
Laura, I don't understand you. Every time I try to do anything that is the least bit different for you, you just seem to set yourself against it. Now, turn around. Look at yourself in the mirror. Now, come on, look. Oh, no, wait. I forgot something.
What is it?
A couple of little improvements. Now, when I was a girl, we called these gay deceivers.
Mother, I won't wear these.
Well, of course you wear them.
Well, why should I?
Well, honey, to tell you the truth, you are a little bit flat-chested.
Mother, you make it seem like we're setting a trap.
We are setting a trap. All pretty girls are a trap, and all men expect them to be. Now, come on, turn around. Look at yourself in the mirror. And look. Now, isn't that lovely? You look just like an angel on a postcard. There. You run on out, and I'm going to dress myself all up. You're going to be astonished at your mother's appearance. You know, I found this old dress in a trunk. Oh, boy, up to it. You know, Laura, it broke my heart. I had to let it out. Oh, my, is that thunder? Oh, my Lord. All right. Now, Laura, take a look at your mother. Oh, no, wait. Now, Laura, take a look at your mother now.
Oh, Mother, how lovely.
Well, it used to be. Had a lot of flowers all over, but they got kind of tired, so I had to take them all off. I led the cotillion in this dress a long time ago. And I won the cakewalk twice at Sunset Hill. And I wore it to the governor's ball in Jackson. Oh, Lord, you should have seen your mother. How she just sashayed around that ballroom just like that. And I had it on the night I met your father. I had malaria fever, too. The change of climate from East Tennessee to the Delta had weakened my resistance. Not enough to be dangerous, but just enough to make me restless and giddy. Oh, it was lovely. Invitations just poured in from all over. And my mother said, honey, you can't go any place. You got a fever. You got to stay in bed. And I said I wouldn't. And I just took quinine and I kept on going. Dances every evening. And in the afternoons, long drives in the country. Picnics. Oh, Lord, that country. So lovely in May. All lacy with dogwood, simply flooded with jonquils. And my mother said, honey, you can't bring any more jonquils in the house. And I said, I will. And I just kept on bringing them in. Every time I saw them, I'd say, stop, I see jonquils. And I'd make my gentleman callers get out of the carriage and help me to get out. Got to be kind of joke. They'd say, look out. Here comes that girl. We're going to have to spend the rest of the afternoon picking jonquils. My mother said, honey, you can't bring any more jonquils in the house. We don't have enough bases to hold them all. I said, that's all right. I'll hold some myself. Malaria fever. And your father. Oh, I hope they get here before it starts to rain. I gave your brother a little extra change so he and Mr. O'Connor could take the service car home.
Mother,
Hmm?
what did you say his name is?
O'Connor, what?
What is his first name?
Oh, honey, I don't remember. Oh, yes, I do know. It was Jim.
Is he the one that Tom used to go to high school
Well,
with?
he didn't say. I think he just met him at the White House.
Tom and I both used to know Jim O'Connor in high school. Mother, if that is the one that Tom is bringing home to dinner, you will have to excuse me. I won't come to the table.
Now, what kind of silly talk is this?
You asked me once if I ever liked a boy. Remember, I showed you his picture.
You mean the boy in the yearbook?
Yes, Mother, that boy.
Oh, Laura, were you in love with that boy?
I don't know, Mother. I just know that if it was him, I couldn't sit at the table.
Well, it won't be him. It's not the least bit likely, but even if it were, you will come to the table. You will not be excused.
I would have to be, Mother.
Laura, I don't intend to humor your silliness now. I've had enough from you and your brother. Now, you just come on over here and sit yourself down and compose yourself until they get here. Now, your brother has forgotten his key, so you're going to have to let him in when they arrive.
Oh, no, Mother, please, you answer the door.
But how can I when I haven't even finished the mayonnaise dressing for the salmon?
Mother, please, you answer it. Don't make me do it.
Laura, honey, please be reasonable. What is all this fuss about? It's just one gentleman calling to dine, that's all, just one.
Mother. Mother.
Laura, honey, the door.
Mother, you answer the door.
What is the matter with you, you silly thing?
Mother, please, you answer it, please.
If you've taken this moment to lose your mind, now go to the door.
I can't.
Why can't you?
I'm sick.
Oh, you're sick. Am I sick? You and your brother have me puzzled to death. You could never act like normal children. Will you give me one good reason why you should be afraid to go to a door? Now, Laura, go to the door. Laura Wingfield, march straight to that door.
Yes, Mother.
Honey, I have to put courage in you for living.
Laura, this is Jim. Jim, this is my sister, Laura.
I didn't know Shakespeare had a sister. How are you, Laura?
How do you do?
Well, I'm okay. Hey, your hand is cold, Laura.
Yes, well, I've been playing the Victrola.
Oh, you must have been playing classical music on it. You ought to put a little hot swing on to warm you up. What's the matter?
With Laura? Laura's terribly shy.
Shy, huh? You know, it is unusual to meet a shy girl nowadays. I don't believe you ever told me you had a sister.
Well, now you know. I have one. Here's the hostess badge. You want a piece of it?
Yeah.
What piece? Comics?
Comics, sports. Oh, well, I see the Dizzy Dean's on his bad behavior. Where you going?
Out on the terrace to smoke.
Shakespeare, I'm gonna sell you a bill of goods.
What goods?
Course I'm taking. Course in public speaking. You know, you and me, we're not the warehouse type.
Thanks. That's good news. But what has public speaking got to do with it?
It fits you for executive positions. I'd tell you it's done a hell of a lot for me.
In what respect?
In all respects. Ask yourself, what's the difference between you and me and the guys in the office down front? Brains? No. Ability? No. Then what? Well, primarily Shakespeare amounts to just one single thing.
What is that single thing?
Social poise. The ability to be able to square up to somebody and hold your own on any social level.
Tom?
Yes, Mother?
Is that you and Miss O'Connor?
Yes, Mother?
Well, y'all make yourselves comfortable.
Yes, Mother?
Ask Mr. O'Connor if he'd like to wash his hands.
Oh, no thank you, ma'am. Took care of that already down in the warehouse. Tom, Mr. Mendoza's been speaking to me about you.
Favorably?
What do you think? Tom, you're going to be out of a job if you don't wake up.
I am waking up.
You show no signs.
The signs are interior. I'm planning a change. I am right at the point of committing myself to a future which doesn't include Mr. Mendoza, or the warehouse, or even a night school course in public speaking.
What are you gassing about?
I'm tired of the movies.
The movies?
Yes, movies. Look at them. All those glamorous people out there having adventures, hogging it all, gobbling the whole thing up. And you know what happens? People go to the movies instead of moving. Hollywood characters are supposed to have the adventure for everyone in America. Well, everyone in America just sits in a dark room and watches them have them and, until there's a war. That's when adventure becomes available to the masses. Everyone's dish, not only Gable's. Then the people in the dark room can come out of the dark room and have a little adventure for themselves. Goody goody. It's our turn now to be exotic from far off. But I am not patient, and I'm not going to wait till then. I am tired of the movies, and I am about to move.
Move?
Yes,
When?
soon.
Where? Where?
I'm starting to boil inside. I know that I seem dreamy, but whenever I pick up a shoe, I just shudder a little, thinking how short life is, and what am I doing? You know, and whatever that means, I know it does not mean shoes, except as something to wear on a traveler's feet. Look.
The Union of Merchant Seamen?
Yes, I paid my dues last month instead of the light bill.
You're going to regret it when they turn the lights off.
I won't be here.
What about your mother?
Like my father, the bastard son of a bastard. Did you notice how he's grinning in his picture in there? He's been absent going on 16 years.
You're just talking. You drip. What is your mother going to say about that?
Oh, Mother is not acquainted with my plans.
Tom?
Yes, Mother?
Where are y'all?
We're on the terrace, Mother.
Well, why don't y'all come on inside?
Mother, you look so pretty.
You know, that is the first compliment you have ever paid me. I wish you'd look pleasant when you're about to say something pleasant so I know to expect it. Mr. O'Connor?
Well, how do you do, ma'am?
Oh, well, so this is Mr. O'Connor. Well, introductions are entirely unnecessary because I've heard so much about you from my boy. I finally said to him, I said, Tom, why don't you bring this paragon home to supper finally? I want to meet this nice young man from the White House instead of just hearing you sing his praises all the time. I don't know why my son is so standoffish. That's not Southern behavior. Well, let's sit down. Let's sit down. You know, Tom, I think we could use a little air in here. You want to leave the door open? I felt a nice fresh breeze a while ago. I don't know where it's gone to. So warm already, and it's not even summer yet. We're going to burn up when summer finally gets here. However, we're having a light supper this evening. I think light things are better for this time of year. Like light clothes are. Light food, light clothes, what warm weather calls for. Because, you see, our blood gets so thick in the winter that it takes a little while for us to readjust ourselves when summer comes. But it's come so quick this year, I just wasn't prepared for it. Just good heavens. All of a sudden, it was summertime. So I just ran to the trunk and I pulled out this light dress. It's terribly old. It's practically historical. But it feels so good and cool, you know.
Mother? How about supper?
Well, honey, you have to ask Sister about supper. Well, you know Sister's in full charge of supper. Well, you just tell her you hungry boys are waiting for it. Well, come on, sweetie. Did you meet Laura?
Well, she came to the door.
Oh, she let you in.
Yes, ma'am.
She is pretty, isn't she?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
You know, it is so rare for a young girl who is as sweet and as pretty as Laura is to also be domestic. But Laura is, thank heavens, not only sweet and pretty, but also very, very domestic, because I am not at all. I could never make a thing but angel food cake. But of course, in the South, you know, we had so many servants. Gone, gone, gone. All vestiges of gracious living just gone completely. See, I wasn't prepared for what life had in store for me, because all my